Just for the records, Bronstein and Spassky seem to prefer knight e5 in this position. 3 games of Spassky. There was a classic Fischer win in this line. They all played knight f6 after protecting g4 pawn. He plays d4. This is against Spassky. d6, knight d3, gives up the e4 pawn. There was the classic win against Fischer. There's a draw with f3 and knight c6, but if we look at Bronstein, I'm just going to substitute the player ID. I know this before. I'm just going to put the different player ID for Bronstein. 16521 on chessgames.com. I've got the URL, even easier. The full URL. So Bronstein also chooses. He had 2 games with knight e5. So there was knight f6 actually in this game, which allowed knight takes g4, which was used. Knight takes g4, and rook sacrifice, knight d5, threatening knight f6 mating. Brilliant rook sack, d4. So that knight's kind of stranded though pretty soon after the check. Queen h5, king d2. It seems as though even though white's temporarily a rook down, there's trouble ahead. If there was knight f2 here, I think bishop takes f5. So actually the knight was just given back, and Bronstein got a good position. Black resigned there, but let's just quickly check the other Bronstein game. h5. This was played in 1947. So h5, bishop c4, and then there was a knight sack on f7. Temporary bishop sack for casting. That's very neat tactic to be aware of, getting that f-file pressure. Apparently Bronstein played the King's Gambit even when forbade to do so by Botvinnik, the team captain. So he really liked playing the opening, the King's Gambit. But let's go back to Spassky's treatment just once more to just reinforce. So player ID 2-1-1-3-6. Just going to substitute for this particular position. So knight e5, knight f6. So Spassky preferred, instead of Bronstein's knight takes g4 here, which is possible, to actually play d4 first. So it clearly looks ludicrous now that d6 you can't even play knight g4, but the idea is just to play knight d3 and get the f pawn. Now this is a bit later, 1960, so maybe this is a more modern idea, and it was used to beat Fischer. Just as a reminder of that game, here's the win against Fischer to end this video. So it was knight e5 and d4 outrageously. So basically refusing the g pawn. Maybe Fischer would have liked the g file counterplay, giving up the e pawn instead, and then sacrificing d pawn again. But black's centre, look at all of black's pawns, they just disappear soon. Central collapse. So the importance of the centre is totally blown open, and actually pieces are much looser now that the centre is blown open. And in fact, Fischer manages to get a position where after rook d8, unfortunately, queen e4, he's in big trouble already here. There's a lot of threats on the horizon. There's a battery on e7, and also the queen's attacked. Tries to defend, still holding on to that bishop with queen and rook, but rook f4 actually winning the bishop, and Fischer, I think, couldn't believe it. He's actually managed to lose a piece. So that was the end of that game. That was in Mar del Plata 1960. So both the major Russian exponents from this position, I just want to make that clear for King's Gambit players. It seems Bronstein and Spassky prefer knight e5 here with the white pieces. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.